Hello, dear friends. Do you hear me? Do you see me? You can write in the chat, or you can use your microphone to answer if you hear me. Alexei. Okay, great. So today is next day of your studies, and it will be an interesting lecture delivered by the practitioner Alexei Dobrusin. Alexei Dobrusin is a professor for our summer and winter schools. He's a director of, he's a head of the board of directors of a companies association. Also, he is a member of marketing association. But I guess he will tell you in details, maybe. So please welcome Alexei to deliver this lecture today.
Yes, hi to everyone. Thank you.
Hello, Alexei.
Hello.
Good luck.
Thank you. Hello to everyone. Yes, my name is Alexei Dobrusin. I am a marketer. I'm a CEO of marketing agency GidaCorp. We're doing, some marketing strategy for companies all over the world. Now I can say that we are international agency because we work with companies from Canada, from Europe, from USA, etc. So we build marketing strategies, and also we do some, market researches. Digital marketing is our competence too. So today we will discuss with you very interesting theme. I would say fundamental theme that's called market research. It's about how we discover our markets, how we discover our audience, our customers, our clients, etc. Now I will start my presentation. So I will start my presentation, and if you will have any questions while I will run my presentation, you can write them down in chat. You can send them in chat, and after our presentation, I will go to chat and I will answer every question, and we can discuss something over the microphone if you need to. Okay, if you will have some questions about my slides or some statements that I will make. So our theme is market research. What is market research? Basically, as Ekaterina said, I'm a practitioner. I am not a theoretical marketer, but I'm a practitioner. I work in marketing for, I think, 13 or 14 years, maybe so. I don't remember already. So for these years, I understood that market research is the main theme, the main point, the main checkpoint that you need to do before you are going to start your project. That's very important. Before, exactly before, not after, not meanwhile, not in the process, but before, because real high quality market research can answer for you to the most important questions. Do you need to go there at all? That is called in marketing go, no go decision. This decision that we make to, start our business, for example, or not to start our project or not to start, etc. So the data that we collect to make go, no go decision based on market research. So market research is, some fundamental thing that you need to do no matter what. Many entrepreneurs, many project managers, many product managers skip stage of market research, skip or, just doing that formally. So we just Google, we go to 5 or 6 websites, we look for our competitors, okay, what prices do they have, what products do they have, okay, so enough. Couple hours and our market research, we think so, is ready. But that's completely wrong thing, because I will tell you about that today. So I will try to give you some specific recommendations, to give you some, maybe improvised checklist, how can you do on your own real market research. Not, some theoretical thing, but real practical market research. So when we talk about market research, of course, we talk about markets. No matter what are you going to do or what you do already, you need to choose your market. And you need to know some, parameters of the market on which you are going to you're going to deliver your products. It can be anything. You can have some production company. You can have some high-tech startup, some technological entrepreneurship. Yes, some technological company. No matter. You can make, some public or media activity. No matter. That is project 2. And even when you are going just to I don't know, to start your blog on some platform or in social media, anyway, you need to do market research. You need to see what's happening on media market or on blog market. What competitors do you have? People who, for example, write on the same theme or some similar themes maybe. And based on that data, you will need to make your go no go decision, and you will need to make some, fundamental checklist: your marketing strategy, your content plan, your content marketing strategy, your, I don't know, maybe some of the resources that you need to go to the market. You're going to deliver your product, etc. So what do you need to know about your market? Let's suppose that you basically already know on which market you are going to work. You know that, I don't know, it is some furniture market in New Zealand, or it is some, I don't know, for example, educational technologies market in Russia. So let's suppose you already know that. You already know your geography, so you know market is not some monolithic thing. There are many markets. Every country is a market that has the borders. We cannot research market all over the world. That's very difficult, and that's wrong, because every country and every big city, sometimes it is a specific market. So you know geography of your market, and you know which product market you are going to handle with. What is the product? It is blog, it is furniture, it is high-tech services, it is food delivery, I don't know, maybe, etc. So basically, you know that. Okay, so what do you need to know specifically about your market? There are 4 big things that you need to know. The first is size, second, trends, third, audience, your customers, who would buy, to whom you are going to sell your products or your product, and of course competitors. So which will be your combat? Who's gonna try to win you, to defeat you? Yes, your competitors. And every of these 4 steps or 4 things or 4 points is really, I can say, it is research on its own. It is 4 pretty big researches that you need to do. Sometimes, as I said, yes, sometimes product managers or marketers or entrepreneurs, they skip some points of this checklist. They skip, for example, they do not know size of their market. It can happen. Or they do not know trends of their market. It can happen. The most important mistakes, the most critical mistakes, is not knowing your audience That's critical. If you don't realize who's going to buy, that's a critical mistake that can bring the bankruptcy, the closure, the destruction of the project very fast. And of course, second critical mistake is not knowing who are your competitors. Because if you are going to some market where you have some strong competitors, some big players, or some, I don't know, monopoly structure of the market, for example, or anything else like that, it can be very critical when you will start your project, and you will face the problems that can destroy you, basically. Yes, we're talking about survival here. So I will give you some instruments to work with every of these 4 steps, every of these 4 points. And I will not go in order in which I structurized them here, because I really think that it is important to do market research, just in another order. And in my presentation, I made them not how they put in books, not how they put in market teaching books, but I put them into practical order. That's how we are doing our market researches in my agency, in Gartner Corp, for example. So usually we're starting with size of the market. Size of the market is really a difficult thing that it is pretty hard to measure, because if you are working on some really public market, some big market, and you have some industrial reports about this market, you have the ability, you have the opportunity to reach them, to read them, and to know how some industrial experts measure your market. For example, they tell that it is $100 billion sized, or $300 million sized, etc. If you have the ability to read such industrial reports, that's very good, but that's very rare, because usually we're talking about some small markets, some not so public markets, and industrial reports are out of reach. They often don't really exist on your market, so you just cannot reach them. But again, if you can read them, you can Google, you can find them, you can search for the industrial reports of on your market, and if they exist, that will help you really on, I don't know, maybe 50 or 60% of your success, because every industrial report, basically, it is already done market research by some company or agency or consulting firm or some group of experts. And in this report, you already have almost all data that you need. You have size of the market, you have some competitors, big players, trends, etc. If you do not have the ability to read industrial reports, they don't exist, for example, or I don't know, maybe they cost money and you do not have budget. For example, you can go to some analytics. On every market, there are some media that place analytic papers every week or every month. So you can just Google for that analytics. What am I talking about? I'm talking about analytics about, for example, some big company just bought another company. For example, Google bought some startup, and that startup is working on your market. That is interesting for you, because it can give you some data, some information. How much did it cost to Google? So it will give you information of how big the startup was, how it was measured, how it was due diligence, process of understanding how much does the company really costs in money. You can find some papers, about the internal analytics of some big player on your market. For example, you're working on, I don't know, on banking market, and Morgan and Chase regularly places their internal reports of their P&L, profits and losses, their income, etc. Because Morgan and Chase is a really very huge bank, this information can give you some insights of what size of market really is. Because Morgan & Chase, for example, it is 20 or 30% of banking market in USA. So if you know information, financial information about Morgan & Chase, then I suppose my hypothesis is that you know information about banking market in USA at all, because you can just put X3 of to Morgan & Chase, and that will be a banking market in USA. So that is some I would say creative work. Then you read some papers, some articles, some press releases, etc., etc., etc. Maybe watch some industrial conference on your market, and then you just think. That basically what marketer does. So if you give us your money to my agency, we will do basically the same. There are no some secrets or some secret ingredients or some secret technologies. No, we just basically do everything that I'm talking with you about now. The same things. Just we maybe we have a little bit more experience, maybe not. Maybe your market such unique that we will do it from the clear paper, just like you. So why am I telling you that? You should understand that when you are going to do market research, you have basically two ways. You can waste or invest your time, or you can invest your money. You can save your money, but you can waste some pretty much time to do that, or you can save your time but invest pretty much money. Let's say so. I'm working with startups from 2015, so for 5 years now. I'm working with marketing exactly with startups, technological companies. So often for startup or for a new project or for some small company, money is more important thing than time. That's why I give you instruments that will help you to do that for free. For some huge companies, middle companies, big companies, time is more important than money. So they'd better pay someone to do that than would do something like market research on their own. Okay, we talked about analytics. So there is risk that you won't find anything useful. Even in articles, even in some analytics, you won't find something useful, because maybe your market is such small that no media, no big players, just not interesting to anyone except you. That is a good question. Why? By the way, but okay, let's suppose. If you are going to work or already working on some small market that is basically not interesting, you won't find analytics, you won't find articles, you won't find some big competitors, you won't find basically anything in in an open range. You will have to buy some prepaid industrial reports or buy some analytics made exactly for you for money, of course. Or you can go to some Google services, like, for example, Google Trends. Google Trends is a Google service that tries, it's based on neural networks, on big data, and it tries, to predict what's going on your market. You put some tags in Google Trends, some keywords, some, maybe product names, maybe brands, maybe some, I don't know, action tags for your audience. What do they do on the internet, for example? And Google Trends, just making for you some automatically build report, and you can just, to try to predict together with Google what's going on, what's going to happen, etc. I wouldn't trust Google Trends very much, because it is automatically based report on, based on big data. So risk of mistakes, I think based on my practice, on my projects, on my work with my agency, risk of mistakes is pretty much high. So you can just use Google Trends in two cases. The first case is when I already said about that, you just cannot find anything else, you just don't have a choice, Google Trends or nothing. Okay, then Google Trends. And the second case when you can use Google Trends is then you found something, you found some industrial report or some, I don't know, couple of articles, good articles, and you just want to collect a little bit more data, just to get your puzzle together. Google Trends really helps pretty good to to bring your puzzle together. It can give you some new insights based on what you already know. It can give you some new information based on what you already know, etc. But if you know nothing about your market, Google Trends is some not very good idea, maybe. That statement brings us to another important insight. I think so. To do some real qualified market research, you should be an expert in your market. If you are not an expert in a market that you are trying to research, I am almost sure that you will fail. Unfortunately, it will happen, because if you are an expert on your market, you just you can see the signals. You can read some article and to see in that article some insights that another person just won't see, just because that person doesn't have competences, doesn't have an expert vision on what's happening on that market. That's why I always recommend any product managers, entrepreneurs, startup teams, my basic recommendation: try to work on markets you are at least basically know. Do not try to work on unfamiliar markets, because it is very difficult. You need either money, some pretty big capital, just to go through that market, to break through the competitors, to have some escape velocity, so to survive there. If you do not have the money and you do not have competences on that market, you will have some very difficult way. Not only in marketing, I mean, not just on marketing strategy or some advertisement needs. No, I am talking about your project at all, overall. you will have very big risk to fail if you do not know your market. So basic recommendation, know your market. You will need to do market research anyway, but you will do your market research more exact, more qualified, more less risky when you just know your market. So that is the first thing that some base thing that we need to know about size of the market. We will return to the size of the market because, of course, that's not all. That's just first step. The first step of our checklist. I promised you to give you some improvised checklist. What you need to know to do, where you need to go when you are doing your market research. So the first step, you need to just to go to Google and to search there. Pretty good. You need to search for analytics, articles, press releases, conferences, press conferences, industrial reports. You need to go to Google Trends and to watch what's going on there. You need to search every open source information about your market that you can. That's really a really important first step. Let's go to the second step. Every market has trends, and we have some 3 or I think 4 type of trends. I put them down on that slide. We have technological trends, we have market trends, we have financial trends, and we have Gartner hype cycle. We'll talk about Gartner hype cycle on the next slide. And on that slide, let's talk about trends overall. Any market is not a statical thing. Market's not static. It's it's dynamic. It changes from month to month, from year to year. So if, for example, if you done your market research for 5 months ago, I'm pretty sure that it's already too old. You need to do another one because 5 months usually it is a pretty good time period for market, and it could already change. Some big market researchers, I think that, yes. Some big market researchers, they are already, they usually done every year, so once a year. Big agencies, some big consulting firms, I don't know, PricewaterhouseCoopers, McKinsey, they're doing their industrial reports and their market researches every year because they know that trends of the market are dynamic and they can change. They are for sure changing every year, but on most markets on which I worked and I'm working right now, trends changing faster than once a year. They're changing every 2 or 3 months, or maybe every half a year. So you need to know the trends of your market, the market on which you are going to work or already working. Technological trends, it is you need to know which will be the next technological step of your market. That's very important because we have some bad cases. They are interesting to us as a marketers, as entrepreneurs, but they are really bad for the companies which had that cases. The first case is Uber. No one could see Uber. 2 weeks or 3 weeks before Uber started their Uberization program, Uberization strategy, small taxi firms, taxi parks just didn't see it coming. And they didn't see the technological threat that Uber will come. And they just turned out not to be ready for Uber. Many of them died that year. Some of them survived, but they just changed the operation model globally, etc. Now market of taxi market all over the world is very stable. We have some Yandex.Go in Russia, Uber in Russia, City Mobile, another big taxi aggregators all over the world, and small taxi companies they turned to be able to build in the process. They became regional partners, they became agents, etc., 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 etc. But for the time, it was it was just one strike. When then some usual startup comes to market and tells to everyone, your rules are not working anymore. And it was a bad case for many small taxi firms. That's case number one, why you need to know technological trends of your market. Case number two, it is a Russian case. I think it was in middle or late 90s of 20th century. We have all over the world, in Russia, of course, too, we have some, paging companies. I don't know, do you know what is pager? But it is such a thing, some gadget that you put on your trousers, for example, yes, on your pocket, and it can basically send to you, SMS, short messages. It is not a smartphone. It is not even a cellular phone. It is not a mobile phone at all. It is just, text box. It was very popular in the 90s, and here in Russia, it was pretty much popular. So we have some big paging companies that bought and sold pagers, that some developed some soft for pagers, etc., etc., etc. And they felt very good. It was a good market. So 1 month before cellular companies came to Russia, we have we had some first GSM format for mobile networks. We had some first smartphones, not smartphones already, of course, but some mobile phones. Month before that, I watched some press conference of one big paging company here in Russia, and the president of that company said on that conference, I feel that paging technology has some big future. So we're developing right now some new possibilities. We're developing an ability to send not just text messages, but colored text messages. We're developing an ability to send not just text messages, but to put some images in text messages, etc., 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 etc. They worked on some technology that made, I don't remember the details, of course, that made paging process, that sending or that text messages much more faster and easier. So that was press conference of big paging company. They looked to the future, with the head just high, with head straight. But within 1 month, first mobile company came to Russia. I think it was Beeline. No, just doesn't matter. The first mobile company. And within 6 months, paging market was destroyed completely. Because why do I need some strange gadget that gives me just one function, one ability, just to send to someone text messages? Then now I have an ability to buy some one gadget that can give me ability to send text messages, to call. So it just replaces my basically home phone, and that's just very cool in that years. That can give me ability to have some light. Just in my mobile phone I can have some light. That was really unusual, etc., etc., etc. So paging companies just wasn't ready for that technological step. That's why they lose, and the technology died. Why? Because some of them, or all of them, I don't want to judge now, they just didn't knew technological trends of their market, because if they would knew them, they would do something. They would, go from market of paging, they would go to the market of mobile phones. Maybe they should have do something, but they did nothing, and that's why they died. That's the thing about knowing technological trends. So you should always know which way your market moves, on what vector your market develops, because that's very important. Now it's just much more important than in 90s of 20th century, because then we had pretty much slow technology development. Of course, much more faster than in 19th century, but much more slower than now, because now we have some innovation a day. Innovation. Monday innovation, Tuesday 5 innovations, Wednesday 10 innovations, etc. So you should know technological trends of your market, no matter what are you going to do. Second trends you should know is market trends. Market trends, it is just I think that I can unite them with financial trends, with the third point, because market trends and financial trends, it's about trends of changing size of your market, because your market can get bigger. You can work on growing market, so just it grows. You can work on on falling market, a market that become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, or you can work on static market which is not grows, it doesn't grow, and it doesn't get smaller. It just it's in stable it's in stable mood, in stable state. So if you are working on growing market, this is basically, it is a good thing, because you can grow on growing market without growing. I know how it sounds, but it's really that thing. Because if, for example, you have, I make it very, very, very easy, just not to waste our time today, just to make you understand how that thing works on markets. For example, you have 10 clients, just 10 customers, 10. And your market grows. So the expenses of your customers on that market grow too, because market grows. So the more and more customers on that market, the more and more expenses on that market from that customers. So the bigger and bigger money on that market, from day to day, from week to week, from month to month. So you can basically you can do nothing. You have 10 customers. You are doing nothing to to sell to your 11th customer. You are doing nothing to just to serve better your 10 customers, your 10 existing customers. But because the market grows, you are growing too, because your 10 customers anyway just give you more and more money. And maybe even the new customers come to you just because you exist, because the market is very big, and every competitor, every company just find their clients, find their customers. So basically you're doing nothing to grow, but you're growing. That's how it works on growing markets. Of course, it's pretty much difficult, but my goal today on our meeting with you is not to teach you marketing formulas, because I realized that a couple of hours just pretty much not enough to teach you teach you marketing. You need 6 months to basically learn what marketing is. But I want to give you some basic instruments, basic concepts, so you will understand how it actually works, and then you can learn more without me already. So if you will be interested, of course. So that's about growing market. If you're working on a falling market, on a market that become smaller and smaller from month to month, the situation is pretty opposite. You can do just many different things to grow, but you will fall anyway because market fall. You imagine you are in in a room, in a physical room, and that room just became smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And in this room, there are not just you, but some 10 or maybe 20 persons, 20 people along with you. And every of these people needs an oxygen to breathe, needs food to eat, needs water to drink, etc. But the room became smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. No matter what these people do, they're just getting less and less resources. So their only chance to survive in a room that gets smaller and smaller and smaller is to kill another people. That's not a joke at all, as you understand. So if I have 20 people in such a room, I would have to kill maybe 10 people, so we have some oxygen for 10 people remained. And then the room gets smaller and smaller and smaller. I would have to kill another 5 people. So that is about fallen market. You can do anything, but the oxygen just running out anyway. So you have basically two options. You are either killing your another competitors. You just take the oxygen for you. You just take the resources for you. You should become a killer in a fallen market, or just you change your market. So you need to leave the room. You need to move on. You just basically you don't have another options on marketing planning or marketing strategy or on your business strategy, because if the market gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, you basically just don't have a choice. That's about fallen market. Of course, it is very difficult to work on fallen market. For example, in Russia, I think it happens all over the world, but I know exactly how it happens in Russia. In Russia, we have, some book market, physical books, just printed books. And this market slowly falling for, I don't know, maybe 10 years. So from 2010 to 2020, every player on that market, on the printed book market, working on a fallen market. And we see just that processes that I told you 3 minutes ago, because the players just eat one another. We had some maybe 30 or 40 players 10 years ago. Now we have 5 or 6, because they need to do that. They just don't have a choice. The less money, the less resources, the less customers, because ebooks and audiobooks, for example, or some mobile games, virtual reality, pretty much interesting, more interesting than books for much of the audience. And that's why on that market we just we see how it slowly dies. Maybe it won't die at all. Maybe it will become just some market for collectors. Maybe maybe it will be some luxury product, because printed book, it it smells good, it feels good, and maybe it will be some luxury product. Maybe we don't know now what will happen to some paper books. We don't know. But the fact is that it is fallen market, and you have to deal with it. So basically, you should know: are you are going to work on a growing market? Then good news for you. Or are you going to work on a fallen market? Then basically bad news for you. You can survive, but basically it is more difficult. That's why any technological company, any startup, any technological entrepreneur, of course, they all want to work on a growing markets. They search for growing markets. They're trying to find some growing trends. They're trying to find some new growing innovations or growing technologies. They're trying to get on the market as early as it is possible, just to grow along with the market. Because we know that on marketing strategy, it works. It really works. There is even such marketing strategy. It's called, it's called growing with the market. I won't discuss with you marketing strategies today. Today, our theme is market research, not marketing strategy. But for example, yes, we have strategy that's called growing with the market. It is when, some weak company, maybe weak company with, not such a good product, not such a good team, some weak company goes to fast growing market, and the market, boosts that company ahead. The market gives to that company some escape velocity, and that company become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And while becoming bigger, that company becomes stronger. So that is a strategy. If you have some opinion that maybe your company, your team, your product are weak, you need to go with them to a very strong growing market, because on a growing market, even weak company can survive. On a foreign market, weak company will be destroyed anyway. To tell you fair. So knowing when you need to go to some market is about specific instrument that called Gartner hype cycle. Gartner hype cycle is a very interesting thing. Gartner hype cycle is a cycle developed by consulting firm Gartner. Gartner is a very big, famous all over the world consulting firm that consults business, consults startups, some big startups, technological industrial startups, making market researches, industrial reports, analytics, along with PricewaterhouseCoopers and McKinsey. Gartner is a very strong consulting player all over the world. And they have such a thing that's called Gartner Journal. Gartner Journal is a media owned by Gartner, logically. They publish there, some articles about technologies, articles about trends, articles about anything connected with consulting. And on the journal, I don't remember exactly, I think 3 or 4 times a year, they publish Gartner hype cycle. It is a cycle that explains how any technology boosts into market, and when it is better to work with such technology. You see on my presentation, on that slide, on my picture, we have some technologies. So Gartner just, they make a list of every perspective technology. We see explainable AI, data fabric, bring your own identity, carbon-based transistors, etc., small data, private 5G, etc., 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 etc. So they put every technology that is perspective right now on their Gartner hype cycle, and then they have some 5 stages of that technology, how it would work. So you see the stages below the cycle. You see innovation trigger, peak of inflated expectations, through trough of disillusionment, slope of enlightenment, and plateau of productivity. So based on Gartner methodology, every technology, every at all, any innovation technology will come through that 5 stages. So innovation trigger is when technology just appears. So someone invented it. Someone invented, I don't know, for example, authenticated provenance. To tell you fair, I don't even know what is it, but it exists. Okay. Low-cost single-board computers at the edge, you see? So innovation trigger, it is when technology just appears on the surface. When the technology, after that, starts to grow, you see? Technology starting to grow. Growing, expectations from the technology growing, market size growing, trends growing, the more competitors, the more some, maybe even half criminal companies that just want, to earn money on the technology, but do not want to do that fair. They want to, to lie to people, to lie to customers, etc. The market starts to grow, and then you see it the growing comes to an end, to a second stage of technology, peak of inflated expectations. It's when everyone wants that technology, everyone. Expectations are too big. Technology just can't do that much as people expect from the technology. So we see what this is fresh Gartner Hype Cycle. I put it down for you, fresh. So on the peak of inflated expectations, we see some, social distancing technologies. We know why. It's logical because we have pandemic right now, and of course any social distancing technologies right now are on peak of inflated expectations. We think that it will basically save the world, but actually, of course, no. Peak, you see, peak of inflated expectations are, just some basically short thing, and after that peak we have some falling. So market starts to grow, then the market on the peak, and then market starts to fall. And we have the third stage, trough of disillusionment. Trough of disillusionment, it's when, we just realize that technology are not just that good. That thing happened to blockchain three or 4 years ago, first blockchain appeared, then it started to grow. It came to peak on inflated expectations when on every conference, on every article I read that blockchain will be everywhere. Blockchain will change the world. But no, it didn't change the world. Basically, revolution just didn't happen. And blockchain just, got to trough of disillusionment. So now we see that technologies, for example, yes, for you, carbon-based transistors, bring your own identity and ontologies and graphs, in trough of disillusionment. It's a fallen market right now. I said, you remember, market is dynamic thing. It's works just right like that, up and down, up and down, up and down. So now they are on, they are down. That these technologies are down. And then people just realized that, okay, this technology won't save the world. It is just a technology, another one from thousands of another technologies. Let's just use it. So expectations go down. We do not have such a big expectations anymore. And then we have fourth and fifth steps, slope of enlightenment. Yes, when we realized that, okay, let's use it, just use it without expectations. And market starts to grow again. Not such a big growth as in after the innovation trigger, but it is growing. We see that market grows. And then the last stage, it comes on plateau of productivity. So plateau of productivity is, some last stage of technology or last stage of dynamic market when, we just use technology. We just pay money for it. It's pretty cheap. It's here technology are cheap as a rule, usually, often. So I recommend you just why do I tell you this? Because in my opinion, it is very, very important part of market research just to watch Gartner hype cycle on your technology. If, of course, if you have some technology project. So just to understand on which stage your technology is right now. Because according to Gartner, there are two good moments to come to market. The first moment is just after innovation trigger, because you are coming to market as it grows very fast. So it is very easy to come to market in that moment. So after the innovation trigger is the first moment that you can very effectively come to some innovative market. And the second moment good for coming to market is trial of disillusionment. So then the market is, then the market down, because when the market down, some competitors, just destroyed. Some companies just, came to another markets. The market are pretty clear. You have some weak competition. Yes, you have not much money on that market because it is trough of disillusionment. It is down of the market. But you are coming to the market just before second grow. Of course, it won't be such a big grow as after the innovation trigger, but it will be grow. So two moments, according to Gartner, when you can come to markets, if you want to do that effectively, most effectively, it is just right after innovation trigger or on the stage of trough of disillusionment. So that is very interesting instruments we use in PeterCorp. We use it almost on every project that connected somehow to products, to technologies, to startups, etc. I recommend it to you strongly. I think that today we have January of 2021. This Gartner hype cycle is July 2020. So I think maybe very soon we will have new Gartner hype cycle, some very new. And you see Gartner has a legend below. They mark every technology, and they're trying to predict how much years in how much years this technology will come to a plateau, to plateau of productivity. So we see less than 2 years, social distancing technologies and health passport will be very fast technologies. They will go through the stages very fast. We see 2 to 5 years, for example, generative AI or composite AI. We see 5 to 10 years, some very long, very global technologies. It is, for example, explainable AI, secure access service edge, etc. We have more than 10 years. So very, very fundamental technologies. We see two technologies here: biodegradable sensors and DNA computing and storage. And we have obsolete before plateau. So some endless technology right here, right now in that Gartner hype cycle, we don't see such technology at all. So that is very interesting instrument, and I recommend you to use it in your work on market research. It just really helps to understand what's going on the trends of your market. So let's go further. Competitors. Of course, we need to know our competitors. What do we need to know on our competitor? Basically, I would want to know about my competitors everything. So I would need to know their prices, their service level, which team do they have, which financial situation do they have, what's going on with their people inside the company, how do they hire, etc., 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 etc. What's who's their customers, which audience do they have? Because that is very critical information that would help me, just to build my own marketing plan, marketing strategy, or advertisement plan, etc., etc., etc. So how can we make some fast research on our competitors. First of all, I will tell you just right now that you can't do such research completely online. It is basically impossible. You can't to go just to go to websites of your competitors or to go to their accounts on the social media to watch them and to make to make some table tents, for example, and put their prices, their brands, etc. It is very bad, very poor, very very surfaced market research. What can you do online? You can just go again to Google and just to put down in the search line service or product on which you are working, on which you are going to compete with other players, and carefully, very slowly read the first 2-page results. That's important. Not the first 3 results, not the first result only, but the first 2-page. Not only some organic search pages, but context advertisement as well. So when you put some keyword in Google, you have some paid results, and you have some organic results. So you should see paid and organic, not just one of them. And you should just read down on your table tents anything that you will find on that 2 pages. Competitors, name of the companies of competitors, what they offer, their offers, their marketing and advertisement strategies, keywords that they use, their price range, their marketing decisions, marketing moves, marketing and creative ideas, etc., etc., etc. So you should collect online just as much information as you can. That's very important. But after that, after you worked online and after you had some some base information, you should go offline and you should do some secret shopper technology. Secret shopper technology, I mean, not that technology is secret, but it's called secret shopper. Secret shopper is when you're just basically buying something from your competitor, or actually, or at least you are trying to buy something, but at the end of the deal, you just do not give your money. You just go away to sunset after you received your price, for example. But you are trying to buy something, or you're actually buying something from your competitor. Secret shopper is a very good technology because it gives you information that you will never find on websites or in Google. You will know how managers of your competitor talk to their customers. How fast do they react on your questions? Do they have for example, expert sales managers or not? If you will ask them some difficult questions, you will know how do they work with them, how do they work with difficult questions, and it is very important thing. You will know, do they have some some takeoffs, for example, some price offs or not? Because if you will ask sales manager of your competitor, can I have lower price, but I will pay to you just today, or can I have a lower price, but I promise that I will make with you some year contract. Give me your best price, and I will give you my best something. So how will they react to such needs that you have? That's very important, and that's very useful to make a secret shopper. But you should remember, just a couple of simple things. if you are going to do a secret shopper, you need to first rule, you need to have some good legend. Who are you? What customer you are? What do you want to buy? Why do you want to buy that? Why did you choose that competitor, etc., 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 etc.? You should, you should be ready for your secret shopper, because if your competitor will understand that you are not actually a client, that you just playing a game, you won't get any useful information. That's why first rule, you need to have a legend. Second rule, you need to have, you need to be ready for secret shopper. You need to have some list of questions that you want to know about your competitor, or I don't know, maybe some scenario of your chat with sales manager of your competitor. So you should be ready. That's bad, very bad, if you are, you're making out your questions and making out your conversation just in the moment you have it. No, secret shopper requires just your homework completed. That's second rule. And the third rule, that's a bad rule, but it exists. The third rule, you need to know how to lie good, because the best secret shoppers that I've ever seen, they are good liars. Because if you feel uncomfortable to lie to your competitor, if you feel bad, if you just starting to be very nervous, your competitor will understand that something's wrong. And again, your secret shopper will be failed, because you won't get useful information. That's why usually secret shopper is technology that are not strongly not recommended to the people that can't lie. Because secret shopper is not only some homework completed or some list of questions that you made before, but it is already a very, very good level of your communication competences, communication skills. You need to be a very good communicator to make good secret shopper. But secret shopper is the best. I'm not kidding. It's the best technology to know very, very, very deep and much information about your competitors. Online research works much more, much worse than secret shopper. That's why I recommend you to put secret shopper in your checklist of market research. Of course, you need to do research not on one or two competitors. Basically, I recommend to make online research and secret shopper on 5 to 10 of your main competitors. So you need to do 10, for example, secret shoppers 10 times, and you need to do on 10 online researches on every of your competitor that you just found. So you have some list, I hope, of competitors that you are interested in, and you must do online research and secret shopper technology on every of them. That's about competitors. Okay, now let's talk about interviews. Interviews is another step of your market research, because when you research in some market, some industry, it won't be enough just to Google some trends, to see some Gartner hype cycle, to make secret shopper, etc., etc., etc. You need to talk to the people in the industry. You need to talk to experts personally, not to read their articles, not, I don't know, not to make some Google forms that will fill out for you. No, you need to talk to them in, I don't know, in Zoom, in Skype, personally, but you need to talk to them. And that technology is also offline. I mean, of course, you can use online soft or online technologies to talk to them, but that's just real actual talking to someone. You need to make a list of people in the industry that you can reach, and you just need to drink coffee with them. I mean, literally, or drink with them coffee in Zoom and to talk to them. So, what do you need to know from the experts in the industry in which you are going to get in? It is costs, some hidden stones, some hidden bombs that can blow you, some hidden traps, because that people already been there. They already know the risks, and you are not. So you must talk with them. You should talk to them. Regulations, because every market, every industry have some have some law regulations. For example, digital health is a pretty strongly regulated industry. Telemedicine also really strong regulated industry, and you need to know the regulations. For example, I don't know, alcohol and tobacco industry are pretty much regulated, and you need to know about that regulations. What will you face when you come to the market? It is very difficult to find that regulations on your own. Just you need to a team of lawyers and experts. It is much easier just to talk to people in the industry who already work there and just to ask them. So and they will tell you, and you will get some insights. You will get some vision of the problems. You will get some plan what to do. Of course, you need to know from the people in the industry. You need to know some the most actual problems in the industry right now. What is it? Because if you will find which problems are the most actual right now, and you will be able to solve with your project at least one of these problems, you will have very fast growing and strong company, or fast growing and strong project. But you need to know the problems. The problems often just you cannot find them online. That's an illusion. Online just do not answers every question. Just do not answer all questions. But you will. I'm almost sure that you will find out the problems. You will know them when you're talking to people in the industry. So, if you have some some familiar people, friends of the friends, it will be much easier for you to make some series of interviews and to just to know what to do. If you don't have no friends in the industry, no friends or the friends, no no relatives, etc., I recommend you just to go to Facebook. I'm not kidding. Just make a list of experts that you want to talk, and just to write them down in Facebook. In 21st century, just right now, we do that pretty much often in GitHub, and experts, often they just answer, and they are ready to waste 30 minutes of their time to chat with you or to Zoom with you. Just because they do that, just because if some person is an expert, if real expert, okay, not some liar expert, but real expert, such person wants to share their knowledge. That's not a problem for them. They just don't need money for that. Maybe they will ask you, I don't know, just to write something about them on your social network, so just to drink coffee with them at your cost, etc. But actually they are pretty open people. They are ready to talk with you, so use that. use that strongly to get some deep insights about your market, some deep insights about your trends of your market, about problems in your industry, etc., etc., etc. So that's about interviews. Now let's talk about some, I think, pretty the most difficult thing in market research. I think so, based on my practice. It's audience. Remember, step when we are looking for our audience. So in 20th century, in 80s of 20th century, in 90s of 20th century, we marketers just were doing something that called segmentation. I think you heard about that. You know, we just built some customer segments. For example, our customer is male, 25 to 45. I don't know, it lives in USA. It's his income is $1,000 a year, etc., 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 etc. Now that classic segmentation just doesn't work because world has changed, and now we just cannot do some basic segmentation to know who's our customers are. But there are another concept, some pretty much new concept that in marketing, that's called jobs to be done. Jobs to be done is a concept that tells us you don't need to do demographic segmentation of your clients. Demographic, I mean, live in USA, male, 25 years, $100 income a year per year. It is demographic segmentation. It doesn't work anymore because person who live in USA may shop in China. Not a problem. Person who my product can be bought by person from 15 to 90 years old. So I don't care how old my customers are. Person who earns $100,000 a year, maybe may spend on my product $1 a year. Person who earns $10,000 a year may spend on my product $100 a year. You understand? Yes. So it just doesn't work. World have changed. We need some new concepts, some new decisions, some new ways to really to know who's our audience really are, who's our customers, why do they buy our products, why do they need us at all. Jobs to be done answers that questions. Jobs to be done tells us, I don't care who are my customers, but I care which jobs they want to be done. For example, if I sell mineral water, for example, that helps people with hangover in the morning, basically I don't care because my customer can be a 19 years old student that has hangover in the morning. It can be some entrepreneur that has hangover in the morning after some party. It can be, I don't know, maybe some just alcoholic that as well has hangover after the party. So for me, these three people is just basically one segment because they have one job to be done, just to handle with a hangover. So why do I need to segment them in three different segments? Entrepreneur, 35 years, student, 20 years, and for example, alcoholic, 45 years. Why? They have one job to be done. That's why it is one segment for me as a product setter, as a product manager, for example, or as a marketer. So you need to know not how old are your customers are. You need to know what do they want to do. And you need to answer according to jobs to be done. You need to answer some simple questions. For example, who would seek your product or service? Not who would seek on the model of old segmentation. I mean, 25 years old, girl that have 2 children. No, not like that. But who would seek, I mean, an entrepreneur that wants to solve some, some losing money problem, or any person who wants to solve some losing money problem, no matter how old this person is, no matter where he or she lives, male or female, etc., 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 etc. Understanding jobs to be done of your customers will help you with targeting on your real audience, because almost I think 8 from 10 of entrepreneurs with which I work as a private consultant or as an agency, no matter, or as a marketer, 8 of 10 just do not know who the audience really is. They just do not know. They think one thing, but when I do for them market research, market study, I come out with an idea that their audience are just another, completely another segment than they thought. So that is about jobs to be done. So there are basically 3 questions. Yes, who is your audience? Who would seek your product or service? Why they will use your business over others? Why? Why they choose you? Why they buy exactly from you? That's important, because knowing why they use your business over others will get you understanding what do you need to do to find more such customers. That is about jobs to be done. And jobs to be done is a some huge concept. If you are interested in that concept, you can you can read some books. You can just Google JTBD, jobs to be done, and you will find some pretty good books, etc. I won't waste your time about that. Jobs to be done is a very huge methodology, and I want to give you some specific instrument from that methodology today, from jobs to be done. This instrument called Customer's Journey Map, CJM. Customer's Journey Map is an instrument when you walk in customer's shoes and build customer journey of your customer. So you just trying to get complete way of your customer from an awareness of need to purchase of your product or not purchasing your product. So just to realize, to understand what do they feel, what do they see, how they look for your product or not your product. And that will make you, some pretty ready for action plan, what you should do with your audience to, to have success with them. Customer journey map, it always consists of 5 steps, of 5 stages. Any customer's journey map in any industry will have these 5 stages, but the way of your customer will be not the same at all. You understand that? So you have every of you here on our meeting today, in your projects, you will have completely different CGMs, completely different customer journey maps, but the stages of CGM will be the same. These on that slide, you see that stages. These are awareness of need, search options, evaluate options, purchase process, and user experience. So let's talk about these steps pretty much more detailed. Awareness of need is a stage then when your potential customer, just realizes that he has a problem. So, for example, I open up my my clothes closet, and I see that my trousers have a hole in them. So I have a hole in my trousers, and that's when I have an awareness of need. I realized the problem. The hole in my trousers is a problem, so I need to solve the problem somehow. I have many options how to solve that problem. I can buy new trousers. I can buy used trousers. I can, knit dead trousers, just repair them, not to buy any. I can, I can take my scissors and, just make some short trousers, and not to solve that problem at all after that. So an awareness of need is a stage of customer's journey map when your customer just realizes that he has a problem. If your customers do not realizes that he has a problem, so for example, you want to sell to your customer, for example, I don't know, some ecological control product, for example, product for ecological control, of air, maybe water, I don't know. It's an example. I made it up just right now. And you need to know exactly when your customer, your potential customer, realizes that he has a problem that that can be solved with your ecological control gadget, for example. If your customer do not know the problem, you won't sell them your gadget, never. If I do not realize why do I need, some smartwatches, you won't sell me smartwatches, never, because I do not have a problem. Maybe I have a problem, but I do not know about that. Understand the difference. So the problem exists, but I, as a customer, I do not realize that I have this problem. That's why awareness of need is very important stage of customer's journey map, because you need to know which problem needs to be solved by your product, and how in which moments of the life of the lives of your customers they realizes that they have these problems or this problem. Second stage of customer journey map is search options. Search options is when I already realized I have a problem. I realized I have a hole in my trousers, and now I want, just go, for example, into Google and search where can I buy new trousers. Or maybe I call up, I call to all of my friends and I ask recommendations from them. Where can I buy the new trousers? Or maybe I get in the car without Google, without calling anyone. I get in the car and I get to a nearest trade center and just go there, look and buy new trousers. So you need to know how exactly your customers will be looking for a solvement of the problem, for a salvation. Because if they will search on the internet, in Google, you need to be in Google somehow, website, Google Ads, advertisement, etc. If your customers doesn't search in Google, they just get in cars and search for salvation in nearest trade center. You need to be there in nearest trade center. You don't need to be in online at all. You understand that, okay? That's very important thing when you are analyzing your audience. If your potential customer, his search options are to call to friends and just to get recommendations, you need to be in that recommendations somehow. You need to make up how. So different search options, your different actions as an answer to that options. You don't need to be everywhere. And of course, you don't need to be there where your potential customers just do not search. That would be a mistake. You need to understand how your audience searches. It is Google, or it is social media. It is recommendations from friends, or it is, I don't know, maybe street banners. It is, I don't know, maybe some events, maybe some conferences or webinars, maybe, and you need to be there. Or maybe it is some, just trade centers where do they head not right straight, and they look for salvation there. You need to know that. Third stage is evaluation options. Evaluate options is stage of customer journey map. When I already searched for options, I have 2 or 3 variants, and I choose among these variants. So I think you or 2 of your competitors, and I think who will be better. So you need to know every factor that can be important for your customer to choose. It can be price, service level, maybe location. I want, for example, I want to get some English school for my son, maybe, and I'm just looking nearest English school with my office because it's comfortable for me to do that, to do like that. So you need to know such factors. Maybe it will be, I don't know, maybe fast delivery. It can be hundreds of different factors, and you need to know them. You need to make a research to build customer journey map on your clients and to know their evaluate options, because that's what you need to do to win your competitors. That's why they will choose you. If you will know what is important for them, for your audience, you will know what to do, so they will choose you. That's very important. That's why I decided to give you today customer's journey map as an instrument, because I think it's one of the most important, one of the most fundamental instruments in a modern marketing, in a modern market research. Fourth stage of purchase of customer journey map is early for that, is a purchase process. Purchase process is a moment when I decided to buy from you, exactly from you. What do I want to see when I'm buying? Where do I do it? I do it on the website. I do it in the shop offline. I do it where? On the phone maybe, or I don't know, in Messenger, in WhatsApp, in Telegram. How your purchase process should be built, so your customers should stay very happy, So purchase process is about happiness of your customers when they're already decided to buy from you. The more detailed you will know their needs in the purchase process, the more likely you will sell to them, because we know that sometimes, for example, I decided to buy something on some online shop, for example, shoes. I decided to buy it. I put it in my order. I just already put the button pay, and then, for example, I see some big form that I need to fill. I don't know to fill some forms, and that's why I just okay, buy. Maybe I will see some not comfortable payment ways for me. For example, I don't see credit cards, for example, or I don't see maybe payment in Bitcoins, maybe. So I don't see something that my expectations gives to me something which is important for my expectations, and I just know I live without purchasing. I wanted to buy from you, but I saw something that just shocked me and I went away. That's wrong. That's why you need to do your research to build your client's customer's journey map, and just to build the right purchase process, so your customers would not leave at the stage of payment, for example. And the last stage of customer journey map is user experience. A user experience is a stage when I already bought your product, I already gave you my money, and now I just use it, and I see what's good in it and what's bad. Did it solve my problem? Yes or no? How was the package? The package is good. It's comfortable. It's, I don't know, it's maybe colorful or not. It's hard. It's solid or not. How was the quality of the product? Is it, for example, tasty or not? Is it looking good or not? How is the design of the product, etc., 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 etc. You should know every factor that's important for your customers in user experience, because user experience is important on the market instrument that we called, some resales. When I already bought from you something, but I don't want to buy it another time, and for the second time I won't go to you. I didn't like your product. I will go to your competitors, and that's important. So on that stage, we need to know what we should do after the purchasing of our product by our customer. So he should return to us another time and another time and another time. And that's very important. I'm sorry. I think that's all that I wanted to tell to you about customer's journey map. You need I think that you need to get deep into that instrument if you want to do some marketing, any marketing of your products or your projects. There are pretty much books already about customer journey map and jobs to be done as a methodology in which customer journey map consists. So I recommend you to just to go deeper and to try to make your customer journey map for your project, just to start this way of mistakes and successes. The most effective way of getting information, real information, exact information on your customer journey map is to ask your customers. If you don't have your customers, for example, you didn't have start of your project, you must ask your potential customers, your target audience. You need to talk to them personally and to ask to them these questions. When do you have an awareness of need? For example, how do you search for salvation? How do you choose among the competitors? How do you purchase? What is important? How do you act after the purchase? What is important? Etc. 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 That is important things that you need to know about your audience, about your customers, when we're talking about right information in customer's journey map. Okay, let's go to our basically last slide. Remember, I promised you that we will return in the end to the size of market, and here is it. We returned because this is the methodology, the instrument, the last instrument I will give you today to measure size of your market. PAM, TAM, SAM, SOM. You need to measure in money to find that information. 4 levels of size of market, 4 levels. The most big level, the first level, is potential available market. For example, if your product is, I don't know, learning classes for marketers, for example, potential in USA, for example, potential available market will be every marketer in USA. Okay, so potentially every marketer in USA may want to buy your marketer course. Logical. So that's potential available market. Then you need to cut out total addressable market. Total addressable market is that part of potential available market that just can afford your product. For example, your potential available market is every marketer in USA, but your marketer course costs $2,000, and your total addressable market, not every marketer in USA already. It is just every marketer in USA that earns more than I don't know, $20,000 a year, for example, and they can afford 10% of their year income on your courses. So you cut out, your market gets your target market gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and that's very important. So okay, we measured our potential available market, every marketer in USA. We measured our total addressable market, every marketer in USA that earns more than $20,000 a year. Okay, now we go to serviceable available market. For example, our marketer courses is offline, and our company is situated in New York, and that's why we just cut out further. We state that our serviceable available market is every marketer in New York that earns more than $20,000 a year. Okay, understand the logic of my way. So we cut out more. We get much less market. Okay, now we have serviceable available market. It's every marketer in New York that can afford our course. And now we just we should go to the last stage of market, serviceable and obtainable market. For example, our courses that are offline, we can teach, you know, some max 50 marketers a month. So it will be 600 marketers a year. So our serviceable and obtainable market is 600 marketers in New York that earn more than $20,000 a year. I hope you understood my logic, because that's very important, because almost every not very experienced marketer, you know, it stops on PAM. He measures potential available market and tells, okay, that's all. Every market in USA, that is our market, but that's wrong. Many people stops at total addressable market, but that's wrong too. You should stop on serviceable and obtainable market. That would be the most right thing to do market research on the size of your market. Not such a difficult thing, but you need, you know, you need to have some right ideas, some right instruments. And I think that today we discussed a couple of them that will help you pretty much. So as a resulting part of our meeting, I would like to give you, you know, some 3 advices. Maybe you can call that advices. I think my opinions, let's say so. The first is that market research is the most important part when starting your project. I hope that I explained you why today, why it is such important, because every mistake of your project will be based on bad market research. Every success of your project will be basically based on good market research. Second advice or opinion, market research cannot be done totally online. I explained why. You need real market feedback. You need secret shopper. You need interviews. You need, you know, you need some feedback from your customers or potential customers for your customer's journey map. You need some real market feedback. That would be right. That's why marketers or entrepreneurs that do market research just totally online, they are wrong. I'm sure of that. That's my opinion. And of course, the third advice or opinion, market research worth investing. I don't mean investing money, not necessary. I mean invest in your time, invest in, you know, some mastermind of your team, you know, some invest in your resources. We can have some different resources, time, money, something else, maybe our connections. And market research is the thing that I would not want you to skip. And that's all. Thank you for listening. Now I will close my presentation. And I will go to chat, you know, just to see if you have any questions. Yes, I see one comment. I think nowadays LinkedIn works better than Facebook for finding experts. Am I right? You know, from market to market, you can be right or not. For example, for some markets, so some technological markets, some startups, LinkedIn really works better than Facebook. For classic markets, as a rule, Facebook works better, because you know that Facebook nowadays is a big ecosystem. I would say so. Facebook nowadays is the biggest ecosystem on planet Earth, because Facebook is Instagram, actually Facebook, WhatsApp, Messenger, etc. So over 1 billion of users, real active users. So, you know, some almost 15% of people living on our planet are in Facebook. That's why Facebook, of course, can be a working instrument to do some researches or to make some connections, really useful connections. I use Facebook personally every day, and I'm very glad of connections and some work things that I can do there. But in technological markets, you're right. LinkedIn works better. That's right. I not agree with you about demographic features. It's not important. I think it depends on the product service. It is a very interesting discussion. Unfortunately, we don't have time to discuss it right now because we have some, 5 to 7 minutes left from our meeting. But, I cannot agree with you. Cognitive segmentation, cognitive features became really more important than demographic for the last 10 or 15 years. It is really much more important for me, what do you want, than who you are. It is really, it works like that. I understood that you are not agree, and you have a right to be disagree with me, of course. And I would like I would even like you to maybe to write to me. Maybe we can discuss it later. I really like to argue, to chat, to discuss with an interesting people, so their opinions, because it helps me to develop. It brings me to some interesting ideas. But as a rule, as a statistic rule in marketing, in modern marketing, cognitive features is really much more important than demographic features. Thanks, I got it. Thanks. Thanks for your questions. Very interesting questions. Okay, guys, let me send you to chat my contacts. I have
actually I was asking you for that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I have a mobile phone number that connected with any messenger, Telegram, WhatsApp, Viber. You can find me there. Easy.
Maybe you can put it like on the WhatsApp chat that we have in the group, so it's gonna be easier, no?
Maybe if I would get there, because I'm not in your WhatsApp chat right now, but I would send it right now to your Zoom chat. And international school organizers, they have every of my contacts, so you can ask for them, and they will give you my contacts if you somehow not be able to see it here in Zoom. So I will send to you my mobile phone number. I would like you to write me in Telegram, in Viber, or in WhatsApp. I'm trying to answer to everyone, not very fast, I will tell you fair, but I'm trying to answer to everyone. And I will be glad if you will send me some, feedback on this meeting, what was useful, what was interesting. I will be very grateful to you because, I'm practice. And for me, it is very important to have some real feedback on how effective our meeting was. And did you use something new from me or not? Okay, guys, if you don't have any questions, I will keep that in mind. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, if you do not have any questions, thank you very much for coming, for listening to me. Have a good projects. Do not forget about marketing. I'm very glad to connect with you today, to interact with you today. Thank you very much. Now I will turn off my sound and my camera. So bye-bye. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye.